If you want to get involved in fisheries management, then it will mean going to meetings. To help with confidence at meetings, it's important to understand that all official meetings follow a similar process. In this video, we will briefly outline how official meetings operate. Meetings are run by a chairperson, whose job it is to make sure the meeting follows the agenda, maintains order, gives participants a reasonable opportunity to speak to each item, and makes sure that each item on the agenda has been adequately addressed. First up are the preliminaries that are delivered by the chairperson.
Okay, so welcome everyone to RL RAG 25, believe it or not. And I'd like to acknowledge the Wathaurong people on which we're holding the meeting today, their lands, and also to pay respects to their elders, past, present and emerging, and also pay respects to elders from other areas that might be at the meeting today. We will go through the agenda to start off with, but I'd like to first of all go around the room, if people could introduce themselves, and those that do have a conflict, if they could mention their conflict of interest in any of the agenda items or meetings today, that'd be great. So I'd like to firstly introduce and welcome Mike Gilby, who's come particularly for this first session. So if we could start there, Mike, welcome.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Mike Gilby. I'm Aboriginal Programs Manager with the Victoria Fisheries Authority.
All right, thanks everyone. We do have some apologies. Jonathan Davey, Matt Harry, Dallas and Anthony Olver. Is there any others? I think apart from them that makes it a full meeting.
The agenda shows you what items will be covered in the meeting, the order in which the items will be covered, who will present them and how long they will take.
So we've got the agenda as outlined and sent out. So the first part is we've got Mike and Rowan talking about the Indigenous participation in fisheries, and then following that we've got work on the class has done intersessionally on proposal, reef seeding update and the e-catch update. Is there anything else people would like to add to the agenda at this point? All right, we'll accept the agenda as is, and also out of session the minutes went out. People had their time to comment on them. Is someone happy to accept them as a true and accurate record of the meeting as they were finally? Thanks, Marcus.
Notes are taken by a member of the committee, which record discussions, decisions, advice and action items on further work that needs to be undertaken. An official summary of those notes is written and sent to committee members. This summary is called the minutes. Each item is then presented and discussed, and where relevant, decisions are made or advice given by the group so that each item can be progressed outside of the meeting. Action items arising from the meeting are usually reviewed at the end of the meeting, and the meeting called to a close by the chairperson. We will finish up this video with some advice about meetings from Rowan and Mike.
How you ensure that your position is heard in a meeting, I believe, is that you've got to be balanced with your approach. You need to re-emphasise around a bit of fact, so don't make it opinion-based. So you can give direct response to the data that you have, but also remind things about the obligations that organisation may have. If it's a policy thing or a legislative thing, just remind people and give them the context around that to get your voice heard. I think sometimes the best bit is just to get the voice and make the point. Sometimes you won't get an answer on the response at the time, but I think it's critical to others participating in whatever forum you're in to make those issues heard.
What's your best tip for helping with confidence in meetings?
Mentorship and coaching, and being, buddying. The buddy system works really well. Having the confidence to buddy up with somebody in a meeting room whom you feel comfortable with, who share similar values to you, or even similar, a similar story to you. It works well in meetings, and I would encourage anyone taking up a role of getting involved in fisheries management meetings, to one, make sure that you're comfortable in your decision, and two, make sure that you're able to forge alliances or support for for your message at these meetings. So whether that's through a mentor or a coach per se, or even through the chair at these meetings, having somebody whom can support you but also be an advocate for you is crucial.
Being informed prior to a meeting is critical. It gives you confidence to answer a question that may come up. By looking at the agenda and positioning yourself, you know where there may be tricky points to respond. You know some of the people that are on the group who may have particular issues, and a way to combat that and not defend or attack, but just to put that in a context of factual information in order to get the outcomes which you're seeking to achieve, either at a reference group level, for example here, or at a mob level back home.